From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Up world, it's the one and only Pop DBacks, the PrimeTime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. It is Wednesday, the 25th of October, and it's 2023 as well, man. We got 2 more months left to go in the year. It's that simple. 2 more months left to go in the year, because literally everybody always kind of just takes off the last week of December. You know that, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and jump into our first topic in hand, and that's going to be the Diamondbacks are one step closer to the impossible as they win the NL Pennant with a 4-2 win over the Phillies. Well, it's happened. It's happened. The Arizona Diamondbacks have pretty much went ahead and made sure that this playoff experiment worked. I know a lot of people are pissed off this morning because they just really feel like, it's too many games, it's too much going on, da-da-da-da-da. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, the team that didn't do any complaining about that was the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks knew that this was a blessing in disguise, that they were rewarded for a season that they didn't see coming. This team wasn't even supposed to win 60 games, let alone be in the playoffs. But this team persevered. They played good baseball the first 3 months of the year. Then they hit a wall. Then when it was time to get these final spots in the playoffs, they persevered again. Even though they had lost 9 in a row at one point. Didn't matter. This team stayed focused on the task at hand. They get into the playoffs. Brewers, fresh off of winning the NL Central, and pretty much, looking like they're ready to go to LA and play the Dodgers. This is just a formality for them because we're in Milwaukee. They shouldn't be losing this series, right? Well, the Diamondbacks didn't get the memo for that. And then they went against the mountain of their division, the Los Angeles Dodgers, a team that they have had some of the worst outcomes with over the last decade. And, they had lost to them last time they were in the playoffs as well, too. So what did they do? The first night, they go ahead and they pretty much ended Clayton Kershaw. Then the next night, they literally kind of just did the same exact thing, but to a young pitcher by the name of Bobby Miller. And then by the time we got to game 3, the momentum had got so good for the Diamondbacks. It was just, you hope the Dodgers can score some runs. And what happens? The Dodgers get swept by a team that nobody saw sweeping nothing, but they're already 5-0 in the playoffs. So they go to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is the mighty Philadelphia Phillies, and they're doing their thing, and they're crushing. They haven't lost a home game against the NL team in a few years, and pretty much here we are. This is the formality. This is the point where the Diamondbacks are going home. Yep, it seemed like that the first 2 games when the Phillies absolutely dominated both of those games. Then they get to Arizona. Things change a little bit. Arizona has a good gutsy win. Then this is where the series really turned. Game 4, it looks like the Phillies are about to win this game. Come 8th inning, here comes the Diamondbacks with a stellar comeback to tie the series. So you tell yourself, they're just making sure the crowd is entertained, things like that. This momentum probably won't keep going. And that was somewhat right, because the next game, what happens? The Phillies go ahead and win that game. And they won it in very convincing fashion. So everybody has their mind made up that the Diamondbacks are going to go to Philadelphia and just go get beat and go home. Nope. They came out guns a-blazing, We're already up 5-1 before we got to the 5th inning. Then they go ahead, pull it off, win the game, 5-1, no problem. Game 7, all bets are off. It's best man wins. And that's exactly what happened. The Arizona Diamondbacks scored the first run of the game. That's all they needed to get their confidence going. Then they went down 1-2. Then they come back, score 2 more runs. Now we're 3-2. Corbin Carroll goes ahead, hits the sacrifice fly that gives them the go-ahead run to get them up 2 more runs, to get them up 2 runs. And this pretty much secures the NLCS for this team that wound up having the best bullpen out of everybody when it was all said and done. And that bullpen went ahead and held this Phillies team in Philadelphia to a 4-2 loss. And this is where we're at. Ketel Marte was absolutely incredible in this series. Corbin Carroll, incredible. Everybody who was supposed to be good in this series for the Diamondbacks, they did their job. And that's exactly all you can ask for here. And congratulations to the Arizona Diamondbacks on winning the NLCS. And guess who went ahead and circled the Diamondbacks to get to the World Series? None other than your boy, Pop DiBiase. I went ahead. You guys saw it. The championship series bets. I had it Diamondbacks Astros. But now we got Diamondbacks Rangers. And I said off top, a Diamondbacks Rangers World Series would be probably a dream for the MLB offices when it comes to parity. And we got exactly that for this playoff situation that people had so many complaints about. But there's 2 fan bases not complaining about it, the one in Phoenix and the one in Arlington. So here we are, World Series. Diamondbacks or Rangers starting Friday. Me and Jeff are going to preview the World Series tomorrow when he comes on to the show. And then I'll have my play for you guys on Friday for Friday's show. So pretty much there it is. And just an incredible moment for the Arizona Diamondbacks. As we move forward, let's get into the state of the Lakers. The Lakers open up their 76th season in the NBA. And pretty much last night, it was a very, very formful situation for the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets, I wouldn't say they dominated the Lakers, but they did what they had to do to win the game. And the Lakers, once again, were a team that was lacking consistent scoring, consistent defense, and consistency from their superstar. Anthony Davis wound up scoring no points in the second half. LeBron James once again had to carry the load, but he only scored 21 points last night. And that was pretty much the linchpin in the game, because you had Jokic once again have himself a game, 29 points. Absolutely incredible. You know, this is the reasons why he's the MVP, seen as the best player in the league. Also, Jamal Murray was pretty good last night as well, too. He dropped 21 last night, and he shot very well, too. He's 8 for 13 last night, so he wasn't wasteful shooting at all. And he was able to supply 6 assists. This was able to get them, their 50 from their, 2 superstars. Now, when it comes to Caldwell Pope, he was the X factor last night. He wound up scoring 20 points, hitting 2 out of 3 from 3, and he was 8 for 12 from the field. That was absolutely that's absolutely the biggest reason why they won this game last night. But everybody in the starting 5 was in double digits last night. Gordon had 15 as well. The Lakers, same thing. Everybody was in double figures last night. I didn't see much from that bench last night. Rue went 3 for 10 off the bench. I think that he's supposed to be the head scorer off the bench last night. That really didn't come to fruition. And he didn't really even get that much playing time last night either. He only played 14 minutes. And then you had Christian Wood in there, who showed some good signs of a guy I think that might need to be inserted into the starting lineup just to give AD a valet. You know what I mean? Because this is what I always try to get people to understand about Paul Gasol. Paul Gasol was good. He wasn't great. He was good. Because the reason why everybody thought he was great was because he had a valet in Andrew Bynum. And then the backup valet was Lamar Odom. So these guys make your stars look really good because they'll do the dirty work. They'll do the dirty stuff. They'll play against the center the physical center that, your finesse power forward really can't handle and can throw him off his game. So Darvin Ham has to get better at putting lineups together. And I know it's a fresh, brand new group. And when you look at the Lakers, everybody in the starting five was there. Everybody except for Prince was there in the starting five. And then you got Rule. He's the only guy left on the bench. When you look at that bench, other than Max Christie and Rule, these are the only guys left. Once again, the Lakers don't have what most teams have when they're chasing championships, and that's rapport. This is the sixth different edition the Lakers have had within the last 4 years of a lineup. It just seems like everything is just centered around AD and LeBron and who can fit around those two. We're at the point now where it's like, okay, you can't even think about trying to get some trade going, but the chemistry was really lacking. It seemed like that these guys really did not know each other at all last night. And the craziest part about it is when they got the group last year during the trade deadline, these guys didn't even know each other, and they were able to mesh right away. You don't mess that type of situation up. All those guys were affordable. You could have paid for them. You actually could have broke up some of the money that you gave to guys like Gabe Vincent and Jackson Hayes and Cam Reddish, and you could have kept those other players that were very good for the chemistry of the team. Now you have to restart this thing all over again. And it's going to be a slow cook for the Lakers because they got to find the right rotations. But I just don't feel comfortable with these players. You know what I mean? Gabe Vincent is pretty much a guy that, he's going to have to be hot. And I think that he possibly is a better player maybe if he's starting because he'll be more confident. Max Christie needs to figure out a way to get some playing time because he has the potential to be a really great player. And then, you got Jalen Hood Schifano. He wasn't even thought about last night. I thought possibly you could have threw him in there for a minute. But the person that I really, really think that needs to really get his shit together. Yeah, I'm cussing. But, I don't like to, I like to keep things real PG here. But this is the Lakers, so it's going to get a little nasty sometimes. But all in all, D'Angelo Russell needs to step up. D'Angelo Russell is the third person in the big three for LeBron and AD. He's the one that's been to the All-Star game. He was the top 3 pick. He was the guy that could go out there and score 30 points a night if he wants to when he was in other places. But it seems like he's just so happy about just being back in Los Angeles and just being a part of the culture of the Lakers. And he needs to step it up. LeBron even said, I saw you, and you're not doing anything. He told him that last night while they were going through a timeout situation. And I truly do think that the way they've advertised D'Angelo Russell over the years, he's coming up very short with the Lakers. And the Lakers need him to be that perimeter player. They need him to be a poor man's Kyrie somewhat. They got rid of Russ Westbrook to bring in an even bigger headache. And I just don't know. But I know one thing, though. He might be setting himself up to be one of the assets the Lakers are going to move before the trade deadline. Because best believe, as usual, the Lakers are going to have to make some trades to get this team to where they want it to be. But I truly do feel that it's a game at a time situation. They should be able to pick up some good chemistry as they move along. But last night was not a good showing. It was not. But you got Phoenix coming in tomorrow. That should be something that's very helpful for you because this lineup's a little bit different from Denver, a team that kind of had a chip on their shoulder playing against you. They had to back up the shit talking of their coach. And then, very emotional night as well, too. You get your rings. Your coach's father, who was a coach in the NBA, the reason why he's a coach in the NBA, has passed away. All that stuff that plays into it, the Hollywood stuff that happens in these NBA games. You know what I mean? And pretty much it favored the Nuggets. And that's what happened last night. And just like I told people on Twitter last night, This is just pageantry at the end of the day. It's the first night of the year. This game is pretty much the most irrelevant game of the season. Let's keep it real, okay? Nobody's really that much worried about your performance on opening night. They're more worried about your performance when you get to the playoffs, when you get to the finals, things like that. This last night was a pretty much a hyped up extra preseason game because, believe it or not, we are in an extended preseason for the next 6 weeks until we get to Christmas. It's that simple, okay? So, all in all, Lakers start their season off on 1 for the 6th year in a row. So, hey, it is what it is. I think for the 10th year in a row, the Lakers have not won an opener in a very, very long time. So, pretty much there it is. There it is. We move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into our next topic, which is going to be the Suns win their opener last night. Suns were pretty good. Devin Booker wound up having himself a pretty good game last night, and he did exactly what he wanted to do, and that was beat the Warriors last night. And he got some new partner in crime with KD. KD had 18 points, a little bit off of a shooting night, 7 of 22 last night. He was only shot 2 threes though. He's 1 of 2 from the 3-point line. But one thing you do like about Kevin Durant's stats is he had 11 rebounds last night, and that's something that you've been asking Kevin to do for years, is to be a great rebounder. He's tall enough to be it. So he gets 11 rebounds last night. That was key. That was huge because Nurkic gets 14 rebounds. So you get 25 rebounds between those two, and you wind up getting 5 more from Okogie. I'm sorry. And then Grayson Allen got some rebounds last night, too. It was a good effort last night. This team actually snatched up 60 boards last night. That's the difference in winning these games, man. And you look at the numbers from the bench. Eric Gordon comes off the bench with 10. He hits 2 threes, 4 of 16. You may not want him shooting that much, but you know what, though? He's one of your key scorers, but he's coming off the bench. Then you have Devin Eubanks, who had a pretty good game last night as well, too. He had 7 rebounds to 4 points. And Watanabe was pretty good with his 2 threes that were very key last night with 8 points as well, too. And, just things worked out in the right way for the Suns. And they get it. Okay, let your 2 stars cook. And then when Bill gets here, he's going to cook too. But the rest of us, just do your job. That's all you need to do. Do your job, get your points, get your rebounds, get your assists, and just chip in for the win. And then play good defense. Frank Vogel is showing all of us how good of a coach he truly is. And the Lakers should have fired Russell Westbrook, not the coach. It's that simple. You know what I mean? And they did, but it was later on after, Darvin Ham has to literally plead to Rob Pelinka that we need something else. And so pretty much what happens here now, it's a trickle-down effect. The Lakers lose a great coach. Now he's coaching the Suns. The Suns have needed a coach like this. Vogel's a guy who's won a championship recently. Everything is falling into place the correct way for Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. Everything was set up in the right situation. Their owner is actually a lot smarter than he looked when they were making these deals and when they were getting rid of players as well, too. And as I said before, when they made that haul, getting rid of Aiden, the way that they made their haul work, I was like, this team did something very smart. Nasir Little only got 2 minutes last night, but he was able to score some points, and they'll infuse him a little bit more into the lineup. And that's going to be key as well, too, because he's a good role player. So Phoenix is an exciting team, okay? And Phoenix has everything that says possible NBA champion right now. You know what I mean? I would say double down on their NBA Finals appearance. Not just because what happened last night, it's because you understand that this team is going to play basketball the right way now. It's not going to be, we're buying in. And coach this and coach. No, it's going to be about the stars. It's not about the coach. Monty had way too much going on. He had way too much friction with your key players. And Vogel's not going to do that. If Vogel feels there's something wrong, he's going to talk to you about it. We'll fix it. You know what I mean? He couldn't do that with Russell Westbrook because Russell Westbrook doesn't listen So it is what it is at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So pretty much the Warriors, I'm not saying the Warriors are done, because they're not. There's no possible way that they're done. But last night, you just weren't impressed with what you saw. You know what I mean? You had Curry get his 27, but he shot 8 for 20 last night and 4 for 14 from threes. Okay. And then you had Klay Thompson last night. He struggled as well, too. 3-11 from 3, 6 of 18 from the field. Then Chris Paul, 4-15 from the field, and he hit no threes, and he shot 6 of them last night. And then you got 10 points from Wiggins. Wiggins was 4 of 12 last night. You got to get more from Wiggins. Wiggins has to step up and become the best scorer in the lineup, because it's there. And then you got Kevin Looney, who just did his job, 7 and 11. 7 points, 11 rebounds. That's it. You know what I mean? And he goes from there. Kuminga was good last night, shot 50%. But, I really liked the way that Moody played, Moses Moody. He was really good. He needs more playing time. In 17 minutes, he had 11 points, went 4-6, and was 50% from 3. So that's something that Kerr is going to have to look at moving forward, because he has 2 young killers on that bench that he's kind of wasting away their career right now. Kuminga and Moody would be primetime players on teams like the Raptors and the Thunder right now. So he has to take advantage of that situation. So with that, we move forward. The Suns go ahead and get themselves a good win. Their next game is going to be against the Lakers. We'll talk about that tomorrow as well, too. So we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into our CFB game of the night. That's going to be Jacksonville State 6-2 at FIU 4-4. This is FIU's a plus 8.5 tonight. It's moved up to a 9.5 actually over the last hour or so. And then it's an over-under of 48.5 as well, too, for that game. So when you look at this one, you have a Jacksonville State team that's coming fresh off of a really, really close loss. They lost last week 20-17. And it was a really actually they won. I'm sorry. They won 20-17 over Western Kentucky. And they were able to come back in that game. Western Kentucky dropped 10 points to start it off. And then they outscored them 20-7 from that point. So Jacksonville State has been coached very well up under Rich Rod this year. They've had some really, really good moments, some really, really good games. But you know what? They do keep games a little bit too close for comfort sometimes as well, too. And I think tonight, this is a game that they possibly might be overlooking, a Florida International team that's still somewhat in the mix. You know what I mean? Jacksonville State has done well for their first year in FBS and everything like that. But FIU is a team that is really tricky, especially when they're at home. And, giving them such a big spread is not maybe the right idea with a team like this, because Jacksonville State had a spread big like this against Sam Houston State and barely got out of that game. FIU is a better team than Sam Houston State. And we know that Jacksonville State is a tough, gritty team. They play some good defense, but at the same time, too, they can get exposed with that defense as well, too. So I truly feel like FIU is going to keep things, honest here. They might not win the game, but they're not going to get blown out tonight. So I do like them tonight with that plus 9.5 now that they have them at. But I think that should be something that works out very well for bettors tonight with getting a cover. And you got the home team in that spot. I know that they got some injuries coming into the game, but this team, though, everybody's pretty much the same on the squad. It's not like it's a big drop-off in talent. So I think that they'll be able to keep things fun in this game, and they'll keep things close, and we'll go ahead and we'll get a nice cover in this spot. So there it is, Jacksonville State, FIU. This should be a fun one. I look forward to it, and there it is. And we got Nephew in the house. He's been busy, but he's with us in the house tonight, and you already know, on the mound, as he always likes to say. But glad that you've joined us today, and you joined us just in time. I'm about to take a commercial break, and when I get back, it's time for NBA Wednesday night. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Cappers.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another, and Nyquist. Also train two-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DBacks, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune into Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube. All right, here we are. Let's go ahead and jump into our next topic in hand, and that's going to be this. That's going to be the NBA Wednesday night. NBA Wednesday night. We have we got pretty much a full schedule tonight. We got a few teams off tonight, but it's a full schedule tonight. We got 12 games tonight, and pretty much everybody in the NBA is playing tonight except for everybody who played last night. So that's pretty much what that's looking like right now. So pretty much right now, let's go ahead and jump into our games that we have. And the first game that we have up is going to be a good one. This is going to actually be the Celtics and the Knicks. This one is going to be on ESPN tonight as well, too. So this is going to be a big, this is a national game, everything like that. Everybody's going to be, glued, talking. It's going to be a subject game. You know what I mean? Because these games that are national TV now, they're more like, social media crush games where everybody jumps in and has their messages and their quotes and what these teams need to do better and blah, 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 blah. But it's opening night, okay? So just expect them to just have a good game and just expect and try to see, great competition, great basketball. That's what it's all about. I always want to see close games on opening night. It doesn't matter how the teams are going to turn out. I just want to see good basketball because I feel like all the teams are in the same type of shape and they're trying to get in shape, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? It's not like the old days where they really make you work at these training camps. They got to be a little conscientious with the players' safety and health as well, too. But all in all, we debut the Big Four. It ain't no Big Three in Boston. It's a Big Four. And you got the new additions for Tatum and Brown and Porzingis and Holiday. And these two should be the missing pieces for getting this team back to the glory. That's what it's all about. This Boston team is not about just being in the playoffs this year. They're not about just getting back to the conference championship this year. They're not just about getting revenge over the Heat this year. They are all about winning number 18. That's what it's all about. They've given up a lot of real estate to make this happen. They've even brought in, I think, Jeff Van Gundy to be somewhat of a visual assistant just in case this thing doesn't work out with their current head coach, who's still very green. And I would say that if you really want to win, if he's not looking too good the first few months, then you're going to have to make the call. Seriously, because this can be Van Gundy's moment right here with a team like this. But we'll get to that if we need to get to that. But all in all, this should be a very fun game tonight. It's at the Garden. Opening night at the Garden is always spectacular because you're going to see all the celebrities there. You're going to see all the fun fans there as well, too. And, of course, it's Boston, their biggest rival. So it's going to be a lit night tonight. It's going to be packed in the Garden. There's a lot of excitement behind the Knicks this year, especially after the performances that Brunson and Hart had during Team USA during the World Cup, how they were leading that team. Also, they have Julius Randle coming back, who's ready to bounce back after having a very mediocre second round last year, and he wants to, right that wrong as well, too. and it was funny because he had a lot of people from New York on his throat. So he has the motivation to go ahead and step it up and be great for these New Yorkers, I think. But it's going to be a fun game tonight. It's really tough to pick a winner here, but I truly do feel that the best thing to do in a game like this, the first game on ESPN, regular season game on ESPN this year, we just go ahead and pretty much first regular season game for the new season this year. So, you just go ahead, you watch this game, and you look at the scoreboard and you say to yourself, let's get that over 223 and a half, which is dropped to 222 and a half. So there it is. Celtics Knicks tonight, one of the oldest rivalries in the NBA. It should be a lot of fun, and I look forward to this one. And let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out, and we will move forward from there. All right, so we jump into our next game, which is going to be the Hornets and the Hawks. And the Hornets and Hawks, this one should be a really fun one as well, too, because you have the Hawks who are 0-8. Well, everybody's 0-0, but the Hawks come in here as a 3-point favorite, 3.5-point favorite. You have an over-under of 235.5. It's the return of LaMelo tonight as well, too. LaMelo and Trey. I would actually like to see this game a little bit more on ESPN, but I know ESPN has to feed the markets because those are better markets for the games. Boston, New York, these are the markets that the NBA really thrives with. So I understand that's why that has to be the opening game. But if you want to watch a game and watch talent and young talent and what's next up in the NBA, you would want to watch this game. You got Trey going at Melo tonight. You got the debut of Brandon Miller, who I have circled as the rookie of the year as well, too. Also, you have a really good Atlanta team coming in this year. They return their same lineup without John Collins this year. You still have Capella, who's a very sufficient big man. Also, hopefully, Big O can play tonight as well, too. He's a guy they drafted a few years back in the top 10. Hopefully he can get in the game tonight because he always seems to be a very impactful player on the offensive end as well, too. Quinn Snyder gets to go ahead and see exactly what this team is all about. And it's going to be fun. DeJounte Murray is going to be here as well, too. It's going to be a live lit game. And it's a Southeast game as well, too. So, it's really can go either way. This game is not guaranteed to the Hawks. That's why they're not a big favorite here. Okay. And I see the numbers telling me that it's going to be the Hornets tonight. I'm going to take the Hornets with the plus 150 as the first NBA dog of the day. So that's where I'm going with this one. I'm taking the Hornets with the plus 150. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And let's see if little LaMelo can go ahead and get us a triple-double tonight as well, too. So it is what it is, and we move forward from there. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our next game, which is going to be this one right here. It is going to be the Rockets and the Magic. And the Rockets and Magic come into this game both looking to improve from last season. They got a lot of young talent on both sides. This is another game. If you're infatuated with the young talent in the NBA, this is the game you want to watch. You got the Rockets here who have pretty much added guys to be their top-notch vets. That's what you do when you have a young group of talented players. You add the right vets to the group. And I think Van Fleet and Dylan Brooks are the perfect duo to bring in. Both guys are hard-nosed players. They play the game the way that you love your players to play the game. I know people don't really like the way Dylan Brooks plays the game, but if you're a defensive guy, if you're a guy who likes guys who can just go out there and just go do their thing, then Dylan Brooks is your guy. You know what I mean? I like Dylan Brooks. I don't care what nobody's saying. That's coming from a Lakers fan, a team that he really trolled effortlessly. You know what I mean? But he should be a very good piece for this Rockets team this season. He has them looking like a possible play-in team. They're not a playoff team yet, but they could be a possible play-in team this year, if anything. And Jabari Smith should be very improved this year. He should also almost be an all-star this year. That's how good that kid is. Then you have Jalen Green, who's a pretty good scorer. I don't know if he's a really great player, but he's a good scorer. And he should be able to improve this year. Eason should be well as well too. And I think that they're going to be really good because they got Michael Porter Jr. out the locker room because they don't know if he's in or out. That's the whole thing. And, they just had to move on from that situation. You got the Magic. They just gave Cole Anthony a extension. Also, you got Paulo Banchero coming fresh off of his Team USA stint where he improved. He looked pretty good, and he's primed to possibly be an All-Star this year, bench guy on the All-Star team this year. That's what probably his goal is this season, is to be an All-Star. And if that's his goal this year, the Magic will win probably 5 to 7 more games than they did last year. I think that this team has a lot of potential to be a quietly good team, just like last year when they had moments of winning, say, 10 in a row at one point, you know what I mean? And they really showed a great effort at points and times. And they made it really tough for the really good teams when they came to Orlando. And that's all you ask for with a team that's on the rise like the Magic. And I think they can do this thing under the radar this year. And they possibly are a team that can be a part of the play-in situation as well, too. 7 through 10. They're more of a 9 or 10. But they're going to be giving guys fits here in the first half of the season. I guarantee. But tonight, I'm going to go ahead and take the Rockets to keep this game manageable. And they got a plus 4.5 on the spread tonight. They could possibly win this game as well, too. I do have them winning the game, but I feel like the safer bet for our super high five is going to be the spread. So I'm going to be putting the plus 4.5 on the super high five tonight on the Rockets. So there it is. There it is. We move forward from there. Let's go ahead and jump into our next game, which is going to be the Grizzlies and the Pelicans. And this game is actually going to be at in Memphis. And, Ja's not here for the first 25 games. He is suspended. Pelicans, I think Zion's playing tonight. Zion, you haven't heard the whole world talk about it, but I would think Zion's playing tonight. There's nothing that said Zion wasn't playing tonight. The guy's been on the bench for the last 8 years. So I would think that he's playing tonight. I'm double checking now, but Zion starts. Okay. Okay, so he's gonna be able to. He's gonna play tonight. So pretty much, the thing is with this, I feel that with Zion tonight, they're really kind of playing with the spread a little bit. To be honest with you, you got Zion and Brandon Ingram tonight, and Zion has been chomping at the bit to get back on that court. And every time Zion gets on the court, y'all can say what you want about the guy. We get mad because we don't get him to play. We don't get him to play enough. And the problem is that when he does play, he's an absolute monster on the court. So you want to see this night in and night out, but we haven't been able to get that. We've been able to get it in sample sizes. And I feel like with him being fresh and healthy tonight, he should be able to go off and get 30 points tonight. Why not? You know what I mean? He's been an absolute dominant force in every single game he's possibly played in the NBA. Like literally, like 80% of the game, Zion was an absolute killer. So pretty much, you want this guy on the court, but will we get him on the court? That's the question. That's why I say you can't call Zion a flop. He's just an injury-prone player. Well, the Grizzlies, that they're going to bring the hard, gritty, everybody's buying in team mentality that usually works for them because Desmond Bane's still a great scorer. You got Jackson as well, too, who's the lead man tonight. And, there's a lot of things that, you can sit up in and say, well, they shouldn't be missing much because Marcus Smart will make up for the slack of not having Morant there. But the explosiveness that Morant has, nobody's going to match that situation. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that they're going to be missing tonight. And I think that's going to be the difference in the game tonight. And that's why I'm circling the Pelicans to go ahead and win this game tonight. They're a minus 115 on the spread because this is pretty much a pick-em game. So with that, I'm going to go with the road team tonight, and I'm taking the Pelicans to go ahead and get themselves a good win. So we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into the final game before we go to our next commercial break, and that's going to be the Wemby the Wemby debut. We got the Mavs Spurs Battle of Texas going on. We got DF Dub versus San Antonio, the Alamo, over under 231.5. And then this spread has went up from 3.5 to a 4.5. And a lot of people, this is going to turn into a lot of people's dog better tonight. And I'm all over Wemby. And Wemby's going to kill it tonight. Wemby's going to go for 102 points tonight. Nope, that's not going to happen. This is what's going to probably happen. Wemby will probably get 10, 12 points, probably about 8 rebounds, a few blocks, and he'll probably be in some foul trouble tonight as well, too. Because now we're in the regular season. The refs are going to have to welcome you into the league. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to have to do tonight. But I do expect Wemby to have some great moments tonight. I know that they're going to zoom in on every big thing, every great thing that he does tonight and make it seem like they've never seen anything like that before, because that's how they're advertising the guy, that he's a straight freak and all this other stuff. They're trying to get Giannis before Giannis breaks out. You know what I mean? That's the same thing, it's the same hype that Giannis had once they saw Giannis was going to be a good player, but now they want to make sure they're there opening night. I think that it's great for the NBA. It brings a lot of attention to the NBA. It's a fresh start for the NBA as well, too. It makes it to where LeBron James isn't the top story of every moment of the day in the NBA anymore. And this is where we've all been trying to get to with the league for the last decade or so. Who's going to be the face to take over the league next? I think Wemby did a good job of finally showcasing that the young talent is coming and that they're here. But let's not put too much pressure on the kid. I want him to be successful. I want him to do great things. But I'm not handing him the world day one. I'm not putting too much pressure on him day one. I know how it was for LeBron James 21 years ago when he played against Sacramento in the same type of situation. It was a late game in Sacramento. Sacramento was a really good team. Dallas is a team trying to get back to being a good team. But, he was playing against a team that was fresh off of losing in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. And the first thing he did to get everybody's attention was steal the ball and do a 360 dunk. I don't know if Wemby's going to do anything like that, but the pressure LeBron James had that night was very, very, very crazy, because people expected LeBron to score 2 points and foul out. And LeBron scored 26 that night. And he went ahead and did that 360 dunk, looked up at the crowd and said, "I'm here." That's how it is. And that was early for LeBron. That was night number 1. I don't know if Wemby's going to have that moment tonight. He'll have that moment in these first 10 games or so, but he might not have that moment tonight. But I hope for the best, but I truly do feel that Dallas is going to take care of their business tonight. And they're going to actually probably run away with this thing, to be honest with you. But all in all, though, I do like the over-under here, and I like the under 231.5. I feel like it's going to be a really, really, really bad scoring night for the Spurs. I think they're going to be overdoing it. I think they're going to be a little bit too excited. Not Wemby. I'm just talking about the overall team. You know what I mean? Because they have an asset now. They have a player that they can really build with. And sometimes you get a little too excited, and sometimes you might not want to just be giving up the ball to that guy yet, because you want to keep your spot. You know what I mean? So we'll see how well they are as a team around Wemby tonight. That's the biggest thing about it. It's about the Spurs as a team, not just about Wemby. Because at the end of the day, they got to do it with a team effort to do any type of winning in this league. He's not bringing the same impact of a Wilt or a Kareem or a Bill Russell on day one. He has to learn. He has to walk himself into it. Okay? So we'll see how it goes. But Luka, Kyrie, a lot of us know that there's high expectations for these guys. And we expect them to be great every night. And we really expect them to be really great tonight, because the way that their season finished. And I think that they've been chomping at the bit to get in a game like this to show that they're a much better team than they were the last month of the season. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But as I said before, I do like the scoreboard tonight. I like the over and under. So that's where I'm going with this one. And that's where we're at tonight. And I actually like the under in this spot. So with that, we'll be back with Talking Tickets. We got the CFB Wednesday night bets. And we also have the NBA Super High Five, the world famous. And then we got the NBA DogDay PK4 because we got 12 games, man. I'm trying to get you guys them dogs at home as well, too. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles with the one and only Pop DBacks, the Primetime Capper.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, here we are. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Talking Tickets, man. And nephew came in the house and showed us what he's on tonight. He says Giannis is over 11.5 boards tonight, over 8.5 assists. I don't know about 8.5 assists, but we'll see. We'll see. So we're chomping at the bit for a Giannis triple double. Victor Wembanyama over 18 points tonight. That's wishful thinking, nephew. Pablo Banchero over 21.5. I think that's an absolute gimme. Paul George over 23 points. Let's hope he actually plays in the game tonight. Well, I know he's supposed to play, but let's hope he actually plays and just doesn't just run up and down the court. Kristaps over 7.5 boards tonight, and 20 gets you 500. So that means it's a 25-1 ticket right there. So if you guys want to play those player props, there it is, and that's nephew, Mr. Rise Above Anything. So you guys make sure you guys check him out on his YouTube channels and everything like that, and follow him on Twitter as well too. All right, so let's go ahead, jump into it. First things first, let's get into this Jacksonville State FIU game. And as you can see, the bets, I got the plus 9.5 on FIU. Then I got the under 23.5 first half, minus 105. Then we have the FIU half a point first quarter, plus 100. I just need them to be tied. I'm not asking them to be in the lead. I just need them to be tied. That's it. And then you have Jacksonville State under 28.5, minus 120. I just really feel like even if they win the game, they're not going to get to that threshold tonight. I think that FIU has themselves a very good game plan in place tonight for the defensive side of the ball. All right, so we come to our next Conference USA game. Conference USA is taking over Tuesdays and Wednesdays now. Lots of fun, but I get it. You got a 9-team conference. Why not? You know what I mean? You have the conference that doesn't have that many teams. Everybody else has at least 10 to 12 teams. They have 9. And, just play your game during the week. Everybody gets a week off, and then just play your game. You know what I mean? And we've all came to really enjoy these Conference USA games. I know ain't nobody like, cut it off. No, I think everybody is really enjoying these games because I know I do. UTEP, Sam Houston bets. I got UTEP tonight with the money line plus 155. A few weeks back, they thought that UTEP was going to get stepped on by FIU. They wound up blowing FIU out. So I'm not going to go ahead and hesitate to take this team against a team that's winless this year. I've been with Sam Houston State literally damn near every single week. I just can't do it this week, fellas. So we got UTEP first half, not first quarter. First half for UTEP plus 2.5. We also have the over 7 first quarter, and that's going to be the minus 130. And then we have UTEP half a point. This means they got to win the game by 1 point or better, and that will have a plus 145 adjusted line. So if we get both of those home, it winds up being pretty much a plus 290. So there it is. There it is. We move forward. We have ourselves the NBA Super High Five. We have 32-1 over 222.5 with the Celtics and the Knicks. Then we have the Hornets money line plus 150. We also have the Rockets plus 4.5. Then we have the Pelicans money line minus 115. And then we have the under 230.5 with the Mavs and the Spurs. This is a 32-1 ticket. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And then we wrap it up with the 47-1 DogDay PK4. We got the Rockets plus 160. We got the Nets plus 120. We got the Jazz plus 105. And then we wrap it up with the big enchilada, with the big dog of the day, the Rottweiler, the Pit Bull. Hopefully we can get that bad boy home. Plus 305 to the Blazers tonight to upset the Clippers at Crypto. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that's going to be talking tickets for today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are the absolute best. You guys make sure to retweet the show, repost the show, share the show. Do what you got to do. Let's get these numbers up. I'm going to have videos out today as well, too. I'm chopping up the NFL videos as we speak, and I'm going to be chopping up these videos as well, too, so you guys can see these in different segments. So with that, thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. And this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. And as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard